All right, well, it's 11 o'clock on the dot, so we will get started today. Hello and good morning. I want to thank you all for joining us for today's virtual presentation on Experience by Ingleside. We are super excited to share our newest service available to those in the wider community. So my name is Kristin Shanks. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Ingleside. I've been with the organization coming up on 15 years. And today, on today's virtual call, we actually have guests from Maryland, DC, and Virginia, all three of our locations for our life plan communities. I do want to mention we are more than happy to have on-site discussion with you about Experience by Ingleside. And we'd love to meet you in person at one of our life plan communities. But we do know it's easier and sometimes more convenient for you to do these presentations at home. So we've actually invited all of our today I call you guests, but attendees. We've actually invited everyone from all three locations just to give you some ease of attending today's event. And I'm sure that you're all more than familiar with Zoom, and you've probably become fully proficient. But because life has normalized, I myself have become less proficient because now I do a lot of things face to face. But for those of you who'd like a reminder, you have two ways to ask questions today. You can, one, raise your hand. There's a little hand icon at the bottom of your screen. And my trusty colleague, Sam, is on the call today. She is going to be able to call on you. What you'll want to do is unmute yourself and ask your question. So everyone on today's call will hear you speak. The other option, and probably the most popular option, is just to put your question into the chat box. And that's the icon with, it's got like a little hand, or not a little hand, it's the two little boxes. And we can read your questions during the Q&A portion of the event. I do respectfully ask that we try to keep questions to the end, because that way, if anyone comes late to the presentation, they're going to be able to hear all the questions at one time, instead of maybe missing them, anything that happened earlier on. So before we talk about Experience by Ingleside, I'm certain many of you are on the call are already familiar with our organization, but there may be some who are new to the Ingleside brand. So I just want to give you a little background in our company. So Ingleside actually started as the Presbyterian home in the District of Columbia in 1906. So we've had 118 years of serving seniors within the DMV. Our mission in 1906 was to care for the frail and elderly that were members of the church, and they had no other resources at the time. But obviously, over the last century, Ingleside has grown into a much larger organization, and we are now a premier not-for-profit provider of senior living services in the DMV. We currently manage 3 CARF accredited life plan communities. Life plan, if you may be more familiar with the term continuing care retirement community, but a couple of years ago, the name kind of morphed into life plan, because what we wanted people to focus on was less the care component and more the planning for your future component. And so what we find is people that are looking into life plan communities are really those planners who want to know that moving into the future, they kind of have their bases covered, not only for their health, but also for their finances, because it gives them the opportunity to figure out how they're going to plan for their money. So life plan communities, continuing care communities, They offer the independent living option along with access to higher levels of care. So that would be assisted living, memory support or memory care, and then nursing. So it's all levels of care on one campus. So as I mentioned, we have 3 life plan communities in the DMV. We have Ingleside at Rock Creek, who is in Washington, D.C., kind of near St. John's High School. We have Westminster at Lake Ridge, which is in Woodbridge, Virginia. It's very close to the little cute historic town of Occoquan, Virginia. And then we have Ingleside at King Farm, which is in Rockville, Maryland. So if you're familiar with Rockville, King Farm is kind of its own little neighborhood within Rockville. And so Ingleside at King Farm is situated right in the King Farm neighborhood. Additionally, we do have a few other services within our organization. The Westminster Ingleside Foundation, because we are a not-for-profit through the Presbyterian Church, most, I don't want to say all life plan communities are not-for-profit, but a majority of them are. And the beauty of being, whether it's through a religious denomination of some sort, sometimes it's through a military, but the beauty of being with a not-for-profit is that most of them have a foundation, and that foundation, its full-time responsibility is raising funds for the residents of the community, so that if they were to outlive their resources while living on campus to no fault of their own, so it's not like you're giving $200,000 away to a grandchild and those kind of things, but it would be a foundation available to residents who outlive their resources, and so that we do not ask them to leave regardless of their financial situation. So we are very proud to say with Ingleside that in 118 years, we have not asked a resident to move off campus because of their financial resources. We also have Ingleside at Home. This is actually a service that we've partnered with an external group called Interim. Ingleside at Home is a service that provides home care opportunities in one's external home. So we do provide services in the neighboring areas of our communities within Northwest DC, Rockville, and Lake Ridge, Virginia. But we also do it within in our communities, because we understand that although we have all levels of care on campus, sometimes that is not always the first choice of residents, especially if you're an independent living and you're a couple and you have one resident spouse who might need, or partner, one person might need additional care. And instead of separating and living separately, you could bring Ingleside at Home by Interim into your apartment. So it is an option for our residents as well. Ingleside Engaged, this is, I would say, one of our more, so the communities obviously have been established for a while. The foundation, I believe, was established sometime in the 90s. Ingleside Engaged is kind of, compared to 118 years, Ingleside Engaged is kind of a relatively new product. It started only a few, I don't know, maybe it was about 5 or 6 years ago. Started at our Maryland campus, Ingleside at King Farm. It now is at all 3 campuses. It is really a fabulous social day program for those who have mild cognitive impairment. So we do have residents on campus who do have mild cognitive impairment, as well as in the external community, who come on campus, engage in this day program. It is charged, I believe, by the day, but they will have lectures. They interact with current resident programs on campus. They go on trips. So it really is a wonderful program for the members of the program. I also do think it is amazing program for those who are a care partner. So especially a spouse who is caring for someone who has mild cognitive impairment. We are aware that there are over 16 million care partners in the US, people who are caring for a loved one with mild cognitive impairment, and the ability to have a program that is going to engage their loved one, but also give them the ability to have time on their own for self-care and just getting whatever you need to do during the day done. It's a benefit on both sides. So the Ingleside Engage program has been it's a really great add-on to the Ingleside organization. And that program is at all 3 of our campuses. And again, it is available to those in the external community as well. And now we have Ingleside's newest offering, Experience by Ingleside. This program's been up for about a year now, and it is a tailored concierge program. And it's a solution that really just organizes the collection of home services and sort of the one-off logistics that you deal with within your life. So we're going to talk about that today. But what I thought would be helpful before I talk about it is I don't know if you've had a chance to go on our website, but we have a video that describes it. And so I thought it'd be helpful to show the video first, and then we'll get into the rest of the presentation.
Meet Mary and her family. Mary has lived in her home since it was built. Her kids took their first steps in it, made memories in it, and as they grew up, they helped keep it running. Mary's kids are grown now, and they have homes of their own. They all help when they can, but not like when they lived at home. Mary loves her home, and with all the memories that Mary's family has made in this house, she wants her grandkids to love it too. Now that Mary is retired, she wants to use her time her way. That doesn't mean climbing ladders to clean her gutters, weeding her garden in the summer heat, scrubbing her bathroom floors every week, or grooming Spot, her dog. But Mary and her family have trouble finding services they trust in her home that arrive on time, every time, and deliver value and quality. That's why Mary and her family use Experience by Ingleside to create the perfect home services plan. Everything from lawn care to house cleaning, laundry, dinner, and keeping Spot clean. All Mary has to do is pick what she needs, and her Experience by Ingleside concierge will take care of the rest. Scheduling only trusted, vetted providers, negotiating exclusive rates on her behalf, and sending her a single bill at the end of each month, allowing Mary to get back to what really matters. Use your time the way you want. Trust Experience by Ingleside with the rest.
So, as I mentioned, Experience by Ingleside, it is a concierge service. So what that means to you is you'll have your own personal concierge. And this is a real human being. It's not a chat bot or some sort of AI, some new feature. And your concierge is going to be there to assist you in helping create a customized collection of services. It's going to help or she, not it, she or he is going to help you actually schedule those services and then coordinate day of logistics. So unfortunately, Kat could not be with us today, but Kat Murphy is that actual person that you are going to be either talking on the phone with or emailing with. So she's that friendly voice that you'll hear on the other end of the phone. And she is the point of contact to all of our Experience by Ingleside clients, to making sure, and she's ensuring that you get the best experience every time. Now, so she is that friendly face. Normally we do have her on these calls to be able to answer questions, but we weren't able to coordinate our schedules for today's event. So let me just, before we go into a little bit more of Experience by Ingleside, I just wanted to answer the why. Why Experience by Ingleside? Because we are an organization that for 118 years, we've been serving seniors in the local market with life plan communities. So why are we offering a service that is going to be offered to the external market? Well, it's very much the same way that we created Ingleside at Home, because there is not a one size fits all solution for everyone. And we understand that truthfully, only 10 to 15% of the population is really going to consider a life plan community. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I've been with Ingleside for almost 15 years, and I've been in senior living even longer than that. And that number is increasing. So probably when I started, it was like 9%, 12%. Now it's up to 15%. So there's a lot of education within the life plan community, set up, and a lot of people have done it now. So now their friends are encouraged and they're looking into it more. But we still understand there's a large group of the population that's not their first choice. And I would love to stay in my home forever too. And so we decided as an organization with Ingleside at Home, we knew that people first wanted to age in place in their independent living apartments, or they want to age in place in their homes with care. But sometimes staying in your home is so much more than getting someone who can do your medications and help you shower and bathe. It's sort of, I'm still able-bodied, I still am independent, but I want to have time to live a more freeing lifestyle. And sometimes your home can really kind of squash that. I know I moved from a condo to a home recently, and I've realized, wow, your home really does kind of rule you at some point rather than you ruling your home. So we wanted to find a product or a service that we could reach out to the 85% who maybe never want to move to a life plan community, or maybe are just not familiar with it yet, but they want to be comfortable in their home. And how can we help those externally in the market do that? And so that's kind of where Experience by Ingleside came, the brain thought of Experience by Ingleside. And through that, we have had people who've joined Experience by Ingleside, kind of tiptoed into the life plan lifestyle and are like, all right, I see the benefits, I'll get on the wait list too. And then I'm covering all my bases at home and in a life plan community. That was sort of the brainchild of the product. So what is Experience by Ingleside? So, as I mentioned, it is a personalized home service delivered directly to wherever you live. And it's really more than home now. When we started it, it was very home focused. So as you can see, sort of the services that we had as part of the program are very home based. Your house cleaning, meal delivery, laundry, home maintenance, but it's kind of morphed into more of that. And I would say it's sort of home and it's sort of lifestyle. So we've added in some pet care, some wellness. So, Reiki, massage, those kind of things that can come into your home and improve your lifestyle as well. And so the beauty of the program, as I mentioned before, is you have your own concierge, which is Kat, and she can help pick out any needed services that you have. She can even help you brainstorm things you hadn't thought of. And then she can help you schedule the services. She's going to deal with your day of logistics of services. She's going to follow up with you afterwards to make sure the services you received were up to par. And then you're going to receive one consolidated bill each month with all of your services. So she's dealing with the vendors, she's dealing with the billing. You don't have to navigate multiple apps, dealing with different vendors. Kat does all of that for you. One of the other things that I wanted to add to this list, some of the things that are really important, window washing has become like one of the top things that people ask for. When we look at like grocery delivery, we have personal shoppers. So they can do groceries, but another one that's become really popular is like the big box stores. So we have a Costco membership, so we can actually go to Costco and pick up those big bulk, larger items that are really a pain, like water, or I don't know, maybe you want to buy a TV. You can buy anything at Costco now. You can buy appliances, but we could get that picked up and delivered through for you through the Costco membership that we have. And then obviously pet care, that it includes like grooming and dog walking and boarding and things of that nature. And then the other one that's become really popular is handyman services. So those one-off things that happen, your dishwasher goes out, or we had somebody who actually requested a handyman cam because they had a jewelry box that needed like the latch to be replaced. So what I can tell you is that the nice thing about CAT is that sometimes we find that people will start with little things such as like meal delivery. They'll just get regular meal delivery to try it out, and then as they're working with Kat, they'll like call her for things that they've really not even expected to happen. One of the examples is somebody had like a squirrel in their attic, and sort of like, what do you do when you have a squirrel in your attic? So you call Kat because Kat knows, I guess, there are companies that can actually exterminate the squirrel and then close up the hole and figure out where the squirrel is coming from, but she can call the right vendor to deal with that for you. And then transportation. This one's really popular because I think from a safety perspective, sometimes people aren't comfortable with calling Uber or calling a Lyft. So CAT can connect you with transportation that you can almost have a regular person who can come and help you transportation wise. They can even help. We've had people who've asked to have the person come in with them to the doctor's office, maybe if they're unsteady on their feet. So she can coordinate a vendor who can do that for you. And then, as I mentioned before, the beauty of Experience by Ingleside is it's really more than just the expected. So what we found, and this is sort of through this last year of sort of navigating this new service, is that we had started with sort of the things that you know about, your meals, housekeeping. But funny enough, because people who are interested in life plan communities, they are planners. And so they have typically already planned for their meals and housekeeping. But they can't always plan for the unexpected things, those one-off things that come. And if you own a house, you definitely know those are coming. So there are challenges that can be remedied by being somewhat prepared, but you can't always be 100% prepared. So for example, we are about to embark on the winter season. I don't like the snow. It's made work very difficult at times because we get to sleep over when it snows working for a life plan community. So with the snow, but there comes bitter cold. And so some of those things can be remedied with being prepared. And so just as temperatures drop, it's really important and crucial to make sure that you're ready for that. And also that your house is energy efficient and that, you don't have this out of the ordinary energy bill that happens. I can tell you one of the things, this is not winter, but I can tell you I bought a house that in the basement, it has a random one-off toilet. It's a 1938 house. It has a toilet. It was running and running. I didn't know, and I now have a $430 water bill this month. So if I had someone come in and actually look through the house and check that for me, obviously I had an inspection, but this happened after the inspection. That I could have maybe remedied that situation. So a company like Experience by Ingleside, we have vendors that can actually come walk your house, check to make sure maybe those little one-off things that you weren't ready or prepared for are covered so that you don't have to deal with them or deal with the $430 water bill that comes your way. That was not a wonderful surprise. So Experience by Ingleside is something that can make being or ready for the unexpected maybe a little bit easier to deal with. So another service that Experience by Ingleside has is move management. This one, I will say, has been extremely popular within people that have joined our service. Many of you have lived in your homes for quite some time, and perhaps you're not actually looking at moving into a life plan community, but you might be thinking, I would like to sell my home and I would like to downsize into a condo, or maybe you're moving across state to be closer to adult children. Um, but moving is daunting. Again, I can tell you that because I just did it. And it is, especially the thought of like, what are you going to do with your stuff? So the beauty of move management services is that you have someone to oversee every aspect of the move, and you're ensuring that it's well organized, and that it happens on schedule. So some of the services that come with a move management product or program like Experience by Ingleside is the dreaded, I would say, the downsizing part. That's always tough. Junk removal, how to donate uh, some of your belongings. Donation has become, I will say, a little bit more difficult because everybody wants to donate now, and companies that take donations are starting to say, please, we have no more space. Like, so so having a vendor that can help navigate that for you is really important. Packing and moving, just organizing, whether that's organizing the home you're selling so that it's show ready for sale, or organizing the new home that you're moving into, and then furniture assembly. I know a lot of people decide when they move, they're just, I want to get rid of what I have and I want to start fresh, and I want to go for a different vibe in my home, maybe be a little more contemporary. And so they buy furniture, and I have to tell you, a lot of furniture now comes unassembled. It's a struggle to put it together. You need an engineering degree to do it. I would say probably 95% of the people who are moving into our life plan communities work with a move management company. And the other 5% pretty much wish they had after the move was done. It's not fun moving in and then laying in, boxes and then figuring out when you're going to get them unpacked. You want to move and you want to be ready to enjoy the community and the condo, the lifestyle that you have chose to move into. So, I just sold my home, and I, working with clients throughout this journey of senior living, I used a move management services, and it was the best money that I spent. It was still stressful, but it really did relieve a lot of the stress that comes with moving. What I will say with the move management company too is that the vendors that we use, they really are amazing. You don't have to do everything. You could choose just to have them pack you and move you. You could choose to do everything. They can come into your house. They can look at your floor plan, your new floor plan, figure out where your furniture is going to go, pack you up, move you, unpack you. And I mean, like, to the point we've had clients who've gone away for 2 weeks, went on vacation, come back, and the toothbrushes in the toothpaste holder, food's put away, clothes are in the closet, and they will have done everything with your input before, so that when you come in and come in with your suitcases, you're ready to go and you don't have to worry about anything. So they can do as little or as much as you want, but it really is so stress reducing. It doesn't matter what age you are. Moving is, I think that's one of like the biggest stressors in life, is like beyond like relationships. It's like moving. So I would highly suggest wherever you move to in the future to look into move management. So let's talk about how Experience by Ingleside works. So the first step would be an initial onboarding call with Kat. And during this call, she's going to discuss with you sort of what services you might want. She's going to probably talk to you a little bit about lifestyle questions to see if there's any suggestions about future, services that you might not have considered. And then what she's going to do, and then maybe talk about anything you might have missed. She's going to put that collection together for you. And then what she's going to do, she's going to go back to the vendors, discuss the services that you have kind of told her that you want. She'll come back to you with pricing, so you can decide if that's something you really want to do. You'll discuss finalizing delivery days and the times of the services that you want. And then once you've agreed kind of on a collaboration with Kat on the services you want, time, you're okay with the pricing, she's the one who's going to be sort of that middleman between you and the vendor. She's going to make sure that the services are scheduled. She's going to also coordinate day of logistics. She's going to call you before to make sure that you have a service reminder, let you know if there's anything that you need to know, like lock up your pets or, I don't know what else. I know like housekeepers want pets locked up and stuff like that. Or if you need to be there, if the vendor has any questions for you. So you'll know what to expect beforehand. Then the best part, they're going to actually receive your services. And then once your services are complete, she's going to follow up with you with a follow-up call to ensure that you are satisfied, address any concerns that you might have. And she will deal with the vendor to navigate any of those services that you have. And then the other great thing is that at the end of the month, you're going to receive one bill. It's a consolidated bill. And that bill is going to provide you with a detailed breakdown of every service that you requested. And so you don't have to worry about, as I said, juggling different apps, dealing with different vendors or different payment methods or different due dates for paying. It's one consolidated bill. And then when I say consolidated, I mean, it could be one thing on the bill. You could have just had someone come and fix your dishwasher. But what we do find is that as people engage with the Experience by Ingleside product, they start to really look at Kat almost like a personal assistant, and they'll just say, oh, wait, I need something. And they'll call Kat or email Kat, and she can start helping you with other needs. And so you could have at some point, multiple things, meal delivery. Maybe you had a one-off housekeeper come in to help you with a party that you had. Maybe you had someone come and help you downsize or remove some big items from your home. So, but all that would be consolidated on the bill. And so for clients who have reoccurring services, such as weekly housekeeping or meal delivery, she's also going to follow up with you monthly, just to check in with you to make sure everything is continuing to be up to par and meet your expectations. So, why Experience by Ingleside? I think there's a whole slew of reasons why people would use Experience by Ingleside. I think it definitely saves you time, and it certainly will help relieve stress of home maintenance. But if I were to ask you, in fact, I'll ask you now, if you weren't on today's call, what would you be doing right now? So I'm not a psychic, but I'm pretty sure that 99.9% of you would not be saying, gosh, I wish I was, cleaning my toilet right now or dealing with dishwasher repairs. I'm pretty sure, or even not navigating like the Costco parking lot. I'm pretty sure what you would be saying is, I'd rather take that time and do something that I really enjoy, spending time with my grandchildren, taking a class, traveling. So I think the beauty of a product like Experience by Ingleside is it's kind of taking the mundane tasks of life out of your responsibility. It gives you a partner like Kat to deal with those. and you can have more time to do the things that you truly enjoy. Some other benefits of Experience by Ingleside, we use the highest quality service providers. We have an external group who vets all of the vendors. So you don't have to worry about calling a vendor. Sorry, we're not servicing your area. Sorry, we're 3 months booked out. That's not your responsibility. That's Kat's responsibility. So when she comes back to you, she has a list of people who can help you at the time that you need it. And then that one consolidated bill, I think, is really beneficial. So again, you're not managing different apps to pay for different bills or dealing with different timing on that. And I will say that all of the vendors that are used with Experience by Ingleside are licensed, insured. So they are vetted vendors. So you can know that they have insurance in case something happens, which hopefully wouldn't, but they will, they're covered that way. So I thought what would also be helpful is to share some misconceptions that we have heard about Experience by Ingleside. So here is one. And I live in an apartment or condo, so my home maintenance is minimal. And so this product can't help me. And so we do hear that a lot, especially because we deal with people who are looking, who may have already downsized. And so they've already kind of gotten rid of the hindrance of the home owning them rather than them owning the home. But so perhaps you don't have a home that needs winterization, but you still have other needs. You might have a pet, so you could use Experience by Ingleside for pet care. Just because you live in an apartment or a condo doesn't mean you don't need help with handyman services such as hanging pictures, assembling furniture, hanging a flat screen TV. I mean, those are things that, depending on the weight of the TV or the picture, it would be nice to have someone help you with. And even if you're in a condo and think of the times when it snows or it's blustery cold out, well, maybe you don't want to go to the grocery store. Maybe it would be nice to have someone do that for you, and you can stay home in your comfortable, sweatshirt and watch TV and have someone do the work for you. And you don't have to be out there navigating in a snowstorm to get that last roll of toilet paper. And someone else can do that for you. So just because you live in an apartment or a condo doesn't mean that Experience by Ingleside couldn't benefit you. This one, we have a lot of clients who have lived in their home for 50 years. They have a housekeeper. I mean, these housekeepers, they're like part of your family. They've seen you raise your children. They know your grandchildren. So by all means, we are not saying fire your housekeeper. You don't need your housekeeper. But, housekeepers are people too. They get sick. They want to go visit their own families. And so the beauty of Experience by Ingleside is that you don't have to put your life on hold just because someone you care about dearly is going and doing something in their own lives. So we have a client of Experience by Ingleside. She's had a housekeeper for probably 30 years. She has been working with Experience by Ingleside using meal delivery. But she had a housekeeper who went away for 3 weeks to go visit family. And so instead of saying, not going to get my house cleaned, won't worry about getting my laundry done, what she did was she contacted Kat and said, can I get a temporary housekeeper who could come in and clean my house and do my laundry while my housekeeper is out of town? So she did that. So that's sort of those one-off things that we can help you with. And then once our housekeeper came back, I'm sure our housekeeper, didn't fold the toilet paper the same way or didn't make the bed the same way. But, your life didn't have to go on hold just because someone else was going out of town. So I think that, you can look at Experience by Ingleside in two ways. Someone that, Kat is there for your day-to-day needs that you need help with, but she's also there for those one-offs when, you don't want to stop your life. So, and then the other one, obviously being with a life plan community, we hear this quite a bit. you know, I'm moving into a retirement community soon. Or I'm even doing it in the next year. Maybe you're doing it in the next 3 months. Maybe you're on this call right now and you're like, I have a deposit at another community. I'm just interested in learning about what's going on in Ingleside. But the maintenance-free living part, it doesn't just have to wait until you make that move. You can start service now, and you can cancel at any time. You could start it, use it one time, use Experience by Ingleside one time. There's no membership fee. Or you could, use it for a year and cancel it. Um, and I know it's hard, you think, oh, I don't want to start a relationship with a new vendor and then cancel. But and when you think about, there are other services you can use. For example, the move management. That is something I'm not saying you're going to need it, but I would highly, highly suggest it and to use like a move management service to help you. And this is really when Experience by Ingleside can kind of come in and partner with you and help you navigate that move. And I will say, just so you know, if you haven't visited our communities, the picture on the screen right now is our community at Ingleside at King Farm. So, I just would, if you think it's pretty and would like to schedule a visit, I think, by all means, we'd love to have you visit. But one thing I want to mention with the move management, and also if you are planning any move into the future, whether it's a community or downsizing, it's the process of selling your home. And so, like I said, I recently did this. I sold my condo and I moved into a house. And when you are selling a home, it is really so much more than just the home sale. And so like in the beginning, I mentioned handyman services are one of our most popular services that we have. And when I sold my condo, I had already done a lot of updating to condo. I had already updated my bathroom and the kitchen. I did that a year before I sold. And some real estate agents are going to say to you, you don't have to update your home. Most people might want to come in and gut it and do it the way they want to, rebuild it the way they want to do it. Especially depending on the neighborhood you live in and with the housing market nowadays. I mean, it's a seller's market, because there's just not a lot of inventory out there. But there's still quite a few things that a real estate agent is probably going to tell you to do that are on the smaller spectrum of getting your house ready to sell. So it may not be like redoing a bathroom to the extent of that, but there are things in your home that you have probably become, it's your home, you love it, and you've almost in some way become blind to like what may need to be updated and that you didn't really notice before. So some of the things, like I'll just say in my experience, torn window screens. It would behoove you to, maybe get those replaced. Cleaning your windows, the view outside, you don't want bird poop on your windows, torn screens. Those are things that buyers notice. Sticky door locks. I had a sticky door lock, and no, it didn't bother me. I knew how to open the door. I knew how to navigate it, but my real estate agent was like, yeah, you really should get that fixed, because the last thing you want, that's the first thing, one of the first things they're going to do is try and get in the home and they can't get your door open. That already puts a bad taste in a buyer's mouth. Cracks in your sidewalk outside. So repairing those kind of things, little things that you've been living with that don't really bother you. But a buyer might look at that and say, they haven't repaired that. What have they not done inside the house that maybe even an inspector is not going to catch on to? So having a handyman, having someone who can come in, walk it, and your agent may do that for you. but having another set of eyes come in and walk in and actually can repair those things for you, make a big difference when it comes to selling your home. And I would say in the move process, move management and having handyman come in and just look at those things really would be, I think, important. And Experience by Ingleside can help you with those. I'll tell you one thing for me. So I had a small kitchen and I had a sometimes they'll say don't repaint, but what they'll say is repaint scuff marks. Because like when you walk into somewhere and you see that maybe furniture is scuffing a wall, someone sees that, they'll say, oh, the furniture is scuffing the wall. Oh, wait, maybe the furniture is too big for this room. Oh, wait, this room looks really small. It all feeds into like the bigger picture of selling your home, getting it ready for market. So again, just things to think about. Experience by Ingleside can help you with those. So, pricing, no, it's a huge consideration. Experience by Ingleside is not a one-size-fits-all product. So if you visited our communities and are familiar with our life plan, we're a type C contract. The way we're set up, we have an entrance fee you pay when you move in, and we have a monthly fee. They correlate to the refundability of the entrance fee and the size of the apartment. And it's a little more clear cut when you visit and learn about the community, because there's generally an entrance fee and a monthly fee that goes with each residence. And so if you have visited or if you ever visit, it's going to be much more clear cut. With a product like Experience by Ingleside, it's not one size fits all, because it really depends on the services you're requesting, the frequency of those services, the type of home that you live in, how many bathrooms you have, how many bedrooms you have. It can really fluctuate. So what you're seeing on the slide is really kind of our most popular services and the range of costs. But even the meal delivery, it's dependent on if you had 3 meals delivered a week or 5 meals delivered a week. The handyman service, it's dependent on how much he's done for you, grocery delivery. So what we highly suggest is, if you're interested, having a conversation with Kat. She'll deal with the vendors. She will come back to you and give you an estimated cost. You are not locked into anything. You can cancel at any time. And that would give you a better idea of what the cost is going to be. The other one that's not on here, move management services. That is, again, really dependent on how much or how little you have them do for you. Do not go by me, but I'll give you an example. When I moved, I was in a 1-bedroom condo. It was around 950 square feet, and I moved into a house. Now the house is it's not much larger, but it's probably around 1,600 square feet. I had them pack me up, move me, store my belongings, because I decided to sell my condo before buying the house. So I went and lived elsewhere for a couple months. And then they moved me from storage, and then they moved me into the house. And that cost me around, I think it was $6,000. It does not now include storage. That does not mean that's what it's going to cost, but I'm trying to give you sort of an estimate. You're probably coming from a larger house than I came from, a 1-bedroom, 950 square foot condo, but it's probably somewhere in that estimate. But again, Kat is really the person you could speak with to get a sense of really what's gonna cost you, and then you can flex services to really fit your lifestyle and budget. There is no membership fee to join. So unlike our communities where there's a sizable entrance fee that you pay. There is no monthly fee, membership fee to join, and there is no reoccurring monthly fee that you pay. You pay as the services or as the services are that you request. And then to me, I mean, when it comes to price, I think the true value of a product like Experience by Ingleside is just, I mean, it's really the time saving and just the reduction in stress and the ability to free yourself up from mundane tasks and just do things that you really do want to enjoy, rather than what you have to do. So how to get started. We have a website, which is www.inglesideonline.org. At the top of the website, you're going to see, this is actually like a picture of the website. You'll see a little link to Experience by Ingleside. That link will get you into more information about the product, as well as there is a area where you can input kind of services you're interested in, and you can schedule an onboarding call with Kat. You can also email the email address above. That reaches Kat, the tailoredinglesideonline.org, and then the phone number as well reaches Kat too. So you have a couple different ways that you can get in contact to learn more about the service. If you happen to be on our wait list, if you know a sales counselor on one of our campuses, feel free to give them a call too. They can speak with you as well, and they can get you connected with Kat so you can learn more about the product. So with that, I want to say thank you for attending, and then we're going to do some Q&A. So I'm going to ask Sam, my colleague, if anyone's put any questions in the Q&A box.
Yes, we do have a couple questions. One question is, on average, what would you say the added cost for concierge service? Is it 10% more if I arrange for it myself? 20%, for example, if I order through Instacart, the cost is about 25% more than if I shopped myself. What is the ballpark range for Ingleside concierge service?
Yeah, so the way right now the product works is that it's a very random number. It's 17.5% up to $280. That gets to whatever that cap is. I'm not a mathematician. Let's say it's $45. That's where it caps.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers your. So if it's a move manager, that's like $5,000. That's going to cap at that 17.5 to that $280.
All right. The next question is, do you have a service to sell items when downsizing? The list says junk removal. How about liquidating more valuable items? Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to the move management companies, all the vendors that we use are and I would say even not even downsizing, like in the general market for anything that you're using, any vendors you're using, they are established vendors that already have existing clients. So it's not like we're just calling our buddy John and being like, hey, can you come do this? So almost most of the move managing companies have relationships with companies will help liquidate items. If you have antiques, or if you want someone to come into your home and help you sell those items, or do, I'm not like well spoken on this, but if you wanted to have, I guess you call it a liquidation or selling your items, that they do have connections. That does not mean that your items are things that people want to buy, but they should know if you have like books or artwork or something that's highly valuable, they're going to have connections that they can bring in to help try and sell them. And then they may come in and say, you know, nobody's buying humble plates anymore, whatever those little statues are. So you might just want to think about giving them away. But the answer is they're going to try the best they can to help you navigate wherever direction you want to go. And if they can't, they'll be honest with you and tell you whether it's possible or not.
The next question is, what happens if the person arrives to provide services and it turns out you need something different from what you thought? For example, you need a light fixture replaced, but you bought the wrong size. Can CAT adjust the plan while the person is at your home, or do you have to arrange a follow-up visit?
You know, I have to say that's probably a CAT question. My gut, though, tells me that it would probably need a follow-up service, because if you don't have the appropriate light, so then they'll have to come back. Although I will say this, I am on the emails that are part of kind of the communication between CAT and our clients. And I have seen where people send her pictures of things, and generally I think CAT does as much as she can to make sure that day, like, the light actually is going to work. So she, with the vendor, she tries to get much information as possible, because I know I've going through renovations myself, I've done that. I've bought stuff and they'll say, oh, sorry, that, you know, this doesn't work with this, or so. I'm gonna say CAT's probably, I've seen her try and do the most she can over email with people or on the phone, but they'll probably have to reschedule if the vendor themselves doesn't have the appropriate way to do it on site.
And the last question we have is, how do you resolve issues? For example, if a service is not provided well or there is damage.
So what would happen is that issue that happens, we would have you navigate. We would have you communicate to CAT. CAT deals with the vendor. They're going to bring another vendor in, and it's at our cost to, or the vendor's cost to fix it. We wouldn't recharge you. And as I said, they are all licensed and insured. So if there was a major issue, that's when their insurance steps in.
And the last comment was, thank you for a very informative session.
Oh, so very kind. So thank you all for joining us today. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us. Again, please, you could be here, learn about the product. We're very excited about it. Of course, we're in the infancy stages. It's been our first year, but we have had pretty good success. And we've had a few people join our wait list who didn't think the life plan community was going to be of their interest. And so I'll just say, if you do have any interest in visiting one of our communities, we're more than happy to bring you on campus, give you a tour, and speak with you about the life plan lifestyle. But with that, I just want to thank you for joining us again, and look forward to possibly meeting in person. Take care.